White Sessions. We are so excited today to have the lovely Baraka May.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm relieved that we did the video.
We did it. You're here. We made it happen. This has been, look, we're just going to tell you now, by the time you are seeing this video, it's probably going to be the middle of winter. It's probably going to be raining or something.
Yeah.
Today it's 102 degrees where we are. So
It is hot.
Ah.
Yes.
But it's, you know what, it's so awesome. Let's just dive right in because today was a really special day. Baraka filmed an amazing video, which you will have now already seen, with her brother, which is so great. Tell us your brother's name. Tell us a little bit about. I just want to hear about your family, how many siblings you have, but let's talk about him first because he was here with you today.
Yes. That was my amazing brother, Johnny May, and he's right below me in age, so we've always grown up being extremely close to one another. All my siblings were very close to each other, but Jonathan and I were like, besties. Mm-hmm. And he is an incredible jazz pianist, ragtime. He used to play at Disneyland for like a decade. He played ragtime music. He was the only young guy there. He started when he was like 19.
Wow.
And he's got a big YouTube following. A lot of people subscribe to his channels. I think his videos have something like, I want to say like 20 million views at this point. There's something crazy. So I think he's like a YouTube celebrity. He doesn't think he is. Yeah. He's like, no. But yeah, he's really, he's my favorite pianist to play with. He listens to the way I phrase, and he's, we used to do jazz gigs together for years, which is why I picked that song. We used to, when I was like in college, and we'd go down to Riverside and play for 3 hours and eat dinner, and yeah. But I actually have 7 siblings. There's 4 girls, 4 boys. All of us are musicians. All of us are pianists and singers, and then there's other instruments that several of us play as well, and it's just kind of a crazy, I think I told you this before, but the biggest fight we used to get into was stealing each other's songs. Like, I would sit there and painstakingly sight read and work out the rhythms on a song, and then Jonathan would run down and just play it by ear. Mom! He's stealing my song! So then we would both do that to each other, where I'd steal his song and so forth.
So for all the things that were probably frustrating, it actually probably spurred you guys on to have a little competition in the house and whatnot.
And it was ear training. It was like we were sight reading and ear training and, going back and forth. Jonathan and I used to have fun. Like, he'd play a song in the key of A and tell me to sing it in A flat and see how far we could get in half-step margins, through Twinkle Twinkle or some other song. And we just have fun. So it was a pretty exciting childhood.
Wow, but yes, because obviously it really ingrained something in all of you to, it definitely shows, at least through what we saw in your video filming and everything, that you guys have a focus about you and you are attuned to details and things like that, which really helps in your professional career.
Yeah, we all had to learn how to be independent at a young age because there's just so many kids that parents can't be on top of every person's schedule. So it was just sort of, you have to play piano, you have to do your chores, you have to do your homework, you have to feed the animals. Like, everyone had that routine, but it was sort of up to each of us how quickly we were going to get through our daily rituals. Yeah. So I just remember about 3rd grade, I was like, you know what? I don't want anybody yelling at me about homework. I'm just going to, boop, boop, boop. So I would always run home and do piano and do homework. But yeah, we all growing up playing piano together and being in that kind of environment was very, very impactful to the rest of my life. And my dad was a jazz bass player, so I constantly was listening to jazz and improvisation and at the same time classical piano studies. So it was really cool to get both sides of the coin as huge influences in my life, my whole life. And listening to pop music, I loved Mariah Keri and Whitney Houston and Michael Jackson, and my mom was a voiceover artist, so I'd do characters. It was just really cool to look at how all those influences came together to form whatever sort of person I am, which I really value, not being put into one box as a singer. I think we were talking about this earlier too, is it's so hard to sing one song in this environment because most of us, we really like doing several different things and playing with different shades of our voice. So
right, yeah, that's true. Well, while we're kind of like on the track of talking a little bit about like character voices, let's talk a little bit about The Nightmare Before Christmas, the live shows. And you've been a part of those now for, has it been 2 years? Or
Yeah.
It's
oh,
been
yeah.
2 years now. You're on
Actually,
year
this
3.
Christmas?
This would this
Yeah.
be year 3 this year, maybe?
I guess it would. Yeah, it was 2015 was the first.
Okay. So, out here in LA at the Hollywood Bowl, you guys have done these amazing shows where the music is brought to life, you know, and talk a little bit about that and how it came to be and kind of how you became a part of it.
Yeah, I think that was a pretty life-changing experience for me. In 2015, I got an email from one of the producers who had gotten my name from a contractor among a list of singers and said, I'd like for you to audition. And she gave me 2 of the songs. One was Sally's song, because they were looking for someone to actually play Sally, and then also the character songs. So I did a video audition and found out that I was cast as Sally and as all of the basically, they wanted to cast a quartet, so soprano, alto, tenor, bass, and I was cast as the soprano. And I came in and I was with some of the people I admire most in the world and couldn't believe I was there. And they took the show to Tokyo. And we did several shows. I think we did 4 shows. It felt like 5 or 6 because of the rehearsals.
Yeah.
And basically just, I played, you know, witches and ghosts and vampires, and there was like a corpse family, and anything that was like really high-pitched and scratchy and kind of crazy was where they were placing me. And then out of randomly I got to go and be the ingenue, which I'm never the ingenue. I'm always like the weird side character.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, I'm Sally.
Like,
so,
okay.
and you know, they like Danny Elfman came up and you know, he sang the, you know, what's the ending? And sit together. So we sang that together, and then they took it to the bowl and they actually had the real Sally come in, Catherine O'Hara. So I continued doing all the other stuff I'd done, and it's just been incredible. It was so, I'm totally a nerd, and I love being able to switch gears on the fly, and like, for these 4 measures, I'm a ghost, and then switch and be a totally different character, be like, you know, really skeleton and, you know, kind of scratchy, and then be really, really wispy.
So it's like that whole performance is like that thing. You're just all over the place.
Yeah, and you know, in the rehearsals we were marking like, okay, for these 4 measures you're going to be this kind of character, and then for these 2 grab that, and then, you know, but there are parts where like mid-phrase you're doing like, you know, the lake monster, and then suddenly you're a child. Like, you know, like in the middle of a phrase.
You know, it's a little chaotic.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Good chaotic.
Don't solo my mic because you're gonna hear me sounding like a crazy person.
Yeah,
but, you know,
like
it's
losing your mind.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
so great.
And I'm
That's a
so
great memory.
grateful to Danny Elfman, because the show rests so heavily on him being Jack. You know, and so if we don't have him, we don't have a show.
Then
like,
you don't have a show.
If nobody wants to see a bunch of session singers at the Hollywood Bowl, they want to see him.
Yeah.
So it's really cool that, you know, he's taken us to these great places, and that he's continued the show for the last several years. So
yeah, and then we haven't even talked about this, that you've been traveling all around doing these Hans Zimmer shows.
oh my gosh, yeah.
What in the world?
I am such a fan. I've never been, like, there's so many cool singers you've had on this series that are, like, touring with artists, and they're like, booked for months, and I've never been that person. I'm like, in LA doing, you know, the LA dates, so, but I've always thought, like, it would be so cool to go on tour. So, it's actually the Hans Zimmer concerts and the Nightmare have been my tour experiences. I'm very limited in my tour experiences, except for those, but oh my gosh, Hans Zimmer.
I feel like composers are the new rock stars. I'm like, what is happening? The composers are going on world tours and taking everybody with them.
And you totally hit the hammer on the nail, because it felt like a rock concert. It did not feel like I'm going to see a symphony and gonna wear my best, you know, suit and tie. Like, there was like electric cello, strobe lights, like crazy electric guitar solos. People were screaming their heads off. Like, it was really sick. Like, if I had children, I would be taken into these concerts to see, like, this is what film music can be.
Right.
You know, and it was so diversified because you had these really gentle, lush parts in Gladiator, and then these like gong 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 in, you know, Pirates.
Yeah.
And then you had like this beautiful Zulu going on in Lion King, layers and layers of choir with one of the woodwind players in the band. I asked him at the end of a concert, I said, how many instruments are you playing in this series, in this concert? He goes, I play 16 instruments in one concert. He's floating around from, just the duduk and the flute and the like the little pan flutes, like
that's really fantastic.
It's really cool.
Well, and really cool for you because you're a part of something, and it shows that you've kind of risen to a level in your career that you are in company with people that, you know, value their craft and really are at the top level of what they do. So that's really a compliment to you too, that you're included.
I'm humbled by it.
All of it. You know?
It's not like in a self-deprecating way, but it's just, I'm so wowed. I'm so wowed by every person on the stage. The person running the choir, the person running the band, Hans himself, each person, I'm in such awe, and it reminds me that I'm always going to be learning. I'm always going to be lifelong working on my craft, even if it's stuff like, you know, nerves, like learning to sing with nerves or learning to sing with a sore throat or when you're really tired. And it's cool because they did tons of shows, like even shows without us. They were going to Europe.
Wow. So how many of you were there?
So there was a choir of 8 women, 8 men.
Okay.
And we did anything that was in the vicinity of California, Vegas, you know, Berkeley, San Francisco. So we ended up doing 9 shows. Yeah, he also went to other spaces and got pickup choirs there.
Oh, great.
So,
okay, well that makes sense.
But our choir, the LA choir did the most dates. I just wanted to say that because I love LA singers and I need to promote the LA singer community.
Yeah, and that's and everybody loves each other, and so that's great.
Yeah.
Well, we can't end our interview time without touching a little bit on La La Land because that was a big deal. It was just a big deal in general. Yeah. But you played an interesting role in La La Land because it takes us back a few years.
Mm-hmm.
To like way back when, very early on.
Yeah.
Talk about a little bit with us about what your role was in La La Land and kind of how it progressed throughout.
Yeah, that was also one of those game-changing moments for me where it all started with, you know, another, like an audition. Somebody said, hey, can you send in a clip of you sounding kind of coffee house, indie, untrained, you know, really casual. And so I sent in a clip. I didn't know what it was for, and then I found out that they liked my voice for this, and so they said, great, you're going to come into this guy's studio. It's for like a musical. And I was like, okay. Had no idea what it was going to become. So I go in, this is 2014, and they say, hey, you know, we're the producers for this movie musical coming up. It's an original movie musical, and it's going to be starring Emma Watson, and so we matched your voice to her, and we want you to supply all the demo vocals for her, and also sound as much like her as possible in case we have to use your voice instead of hers. And I was like, okay, cool. And so they're literally printing out the lyrics because they've never had anybody sing this song before, and they were still getting lyric changes from Pasek and Paul. And so I get the lyrics, and it's City of Stars. So I sing down City of Stars with my best, you know, Emma Watson in my head, who ended up, as we all know, not being in the film because she got Belle in Beauty and the Beast.
Yes.
So, but in the meantime, I was the very first singer ever to sing City of Stars, which is just a really cool thing. And I knew when I was singing, I was like, this song is going to be stuck in my head for the next, like, 2, and it was stuck in my head for 2 years. So, anyway, they had me come back and do Another Day of Sun, and Someone in the Crowd. And they said, oh, hey, someone in the crowd, there's going to be like 4 different roommates. Could you be 4 different girls? And could you be one that's like kind of breathy and one that's like kind of brassy? And so that was, again, you know, kind of touching on the character voices and, you know, changing my voice around. So, and then Another Day of Sun, I did all of the demo layers, soprano 1 down to like tenor. And then they recast Emma Watson to Emma Stone, and I didn't work for them for a while because they were getting someone to sound like her. And then they brought me back in to do more of the choir stuff by myself, to do all the demos. So I was like, great. And then they had the da-da-ba-da-ba-da, da-da-da-da-da. They didn't have lyrics yet, so they just said, could you do this on scat syllables? So I came and I scatted that song for them, so they had a demo of a girl's voice. So it just ended up being this really cool relationship that kind of morphed from what it had been. And I ended up just being kind of their demo singer for a lot of stuff. Never expected anything to be final. I was always under the idea that this is all going to be replaced. And then one day, I got on the choir session when the choir was put together. I was able to be part of that. And then I got this great email that said, oh, we're actually keeping several of your solos in for the final film. So I'm one of the roommates. I can't always tell. I honestly did so many different voices that I don't know. I know one of the lines was me for sure, which was, you need some medication. So you listen to that. It's like,
You're like, that's
some medication. And that was like my breathy voice. That's like not even me. So I'm like, you need some medication. I'm kind of like, but so that was, I mean, it was just such a crazy cool thing. And it spanned from 2014 to you know,
all the way through award season.
And then we did it live. We did La La Land live at the Bowl.
Oh yes, that's right.
Yeah. So
wow.
Really
well, I'm so happy for you. You've had a great little run here for the past few years of just some really awesome opportunities, and it's just allowed you to kind of just build upon your career, and you know, it's just really fantastic, and I'm thrilled for you. I wish you all the best.
Oh my gosh, thank you. And I met you 2012, so we go back.
We go back, Baraka.
Yes. And girl, you can sing. This girl.
You're very sweet.
Yes.
You're very kind. Thank you. But I'm thrilled that you are a part of our Black and White Sessions family.
Thank you. I'm so thrilled to be here. Thank you for having me.
You're most welcome. And we'll see you again, I'm sure.
Yes, I hope so.
And Johnny May.
And Johnny May.
Yes.
Go look him up. There's no H, just Jonny. Johnny May. He's my brother. He's amazing.
All right. See ya.